right. That new game smells wearing off. Let's...
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded.
I may be deluded, but you're lucky you ain't dead. Seeing how she seems partial to using her friends as victims.
Does she? It occurs to me that you have provided no proof of what you're accusing her of.
Why don't you take a long look at me? This is all because she betrayed us. Her team, her friends, even the one whose life she saved in Triangulum.
By the architect. You're Niles, aren't you? She mentioned you a few times, but refused to elaborate. All I knew was that she was fond of you, and that you were dead.
She was fond of me? Then why? Why would she try to kill me?
I can't say, but it may be one of the things she anguished over. An anguish I fear finally overwhelmed her, and could likely be what's driven her to her present course of action. I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, They started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. We became friends when she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the Corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. Yes, and I am ashamed to admit it. Though if she hadn't wanted me to, she wouldn't have told me the code. Same one she used for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries' identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. I understand. Perhaps it actually is for the best. I truly cannot say.
Careful of friendly fire if you head down past the farm. Last time we wandered past, they opened fire on us. A real code 472.
These Antes soldiers seem twitchy to you? Might want to sneak our way in.
dead.
Sequencing attack strategies. Status. Susceptible to danger.
Still here! Don't make me bury another agent!
Status.
Commander, watch your vitals!
Negative. Pharmaceutical reload in progress. Emergency protocol syringes primed. As indicated. Engage.
Ready to be downsized!
Unsanitary conditions detected.
I've counted at least 6 horrendous death screams since you arrived. You must be affected as well. You there? Oh, you're likely affected too, aren't you? Scream twice for yes. Could it be? You seem an honest-to-goodness rational human being, unhindered by bloodlust, unshackled from their basal ganglia. Well then, by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, under Outbreak Provision 5A, I hereby press you into service to aid me in our present crisis. I, Elmet Ormsby, Product Envisioner, Department of Proprietary Methodology and Audacious Advances, am your interim supervisor. Because I've squirreled myself away inside our test chamber for safekeeping? Well, I assure you my position as lead visionary of this innovative lab persists regardless. But back to the exciting news about this incredible new opportunity. You working for me, as an aide-de-camp of sorts, on a brief yet no doubt exhilarating assignment. Assuming success, your fee will be based on the length of your involuntary impressment, dangers from exposure to undisclosed hazards, etc. It should be quite fair. We of course value your time and effort. Now, with that out of the way, allow me to tell you a little about our process here. You see, our lab is a far cry from the others. You're part of something bigger here. The individual not only thrives, but shines even more brightly with the help of their brethren. It all requires a certain devotion. In the end, it's really quite in the best interests of everyone's careers. A rising tide raises all boats, as they say. Speaking of the team, such as they are in their present deranged state, how did you make it past them? You know, without being killed. Aha, thought so. Sometimes with screaming, it can be difficult to discern intent, like, I'm being killed, can be so close to, I'm running amok. Shame. The staff and I all had such. What matters most is getting out of here alive, saving our researchers a close second, and curing my remaining colleagues a firm third. Well, it should all be rather straightforward, yes? I suspect we'd use a top-down indirect coronium synthesis method, don't you think? Oh dear. It's occurred to me this might benefit to some extent from medical training. Are you perhaps someone well-versed with pharmacological matters? Apologies. I do tend to assume everyone has a tremendous. Well then, before we roll up our sleeves and determine what's needed, any questions? Oh, my favorite topic. By all means, fire. Our lab's focus is the utilization of local flora and fauna and anything else before we set to it? Well, Well, you'd certainly think so, but management sets the goals. Our humble research team works to deliver. But as much as I'd love to natter on, we probably ought to get matters underway. We'll need two things: fresh samples of the red spores and the findings from the expedition that originally uncovered. After that, an antidote should be possible in relatively short order, with your skilled assistance, of course. How exceedingly fortunate. Spore samples may be taken from a red plant indigenous to an area of tall rock formations northwest of here, ingeniously referred to as the... Once we have an antidote...
Typical Auntie's choice. Moving fast and breaking things.
On your neighbors, same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Grey gone astray? Book a state
Engaging. Emergency protocols ready.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just give the...
enthusiastically at neutralizing unfriendlies.
This looks like the place. Lord, I haven't felt this high-strung since Horizon Point. Just hope he's here.
Niles.
Howdy, Zeb. You look... well.
Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters.
Zeb, this is the commander I told you about. One in charge of the Horizon Point mission.
Ah, yes. The same commander who nobly ordered you to leave your colleague to perish under rubble. I never did perfect my bedside manner, so you are keeping company these days. Just not mine.
Hang fire, Commander. Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting...
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Fuck! It's all coming apart.
I knew something was wrong. What have you gotten yourself into here, Zeb?
That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
Then let's hope the ship also takes its time arriving, and that my friend's pain threshold withstands any attempts to soften them up for the console. I'll answer what I can. The Crabbles? They keep people away who might otherwise stumble into my operation here. I feel kindly toward them. Ah, of course. Hogarth and his unfortunate charges would be top of mind if you've explored the nearby settlement. I sympathize with the plight of those in Westport. They want nothing to do with me, of course, or anyone outside the Sovereign's grace, which has been to my benefit. I do believe that one day, the truth of the Protector's iniquity will be too obvious to ignore. But for now, not even a crowbar could pry open all those shut eyes. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct and she was taken to be refreshed. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look at then, I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so... You always put your hands on other people's things.
are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to protect her.
Waste him on your command.
Entering a confrontational state. Commencing combat-related activities. Sequencing attack strategies.
Goodwin here. Field report update. We are approaching the Raptidon Den. These beasts have exhibited excessive irritability as of late. We endeavor to determine why. Surely the red spores aren't to blame. Wind-borne spores lack the catalytic agent of our food additives. Only way to be certain is to gather a stool sample. Simple enough. A routine task for the audacious Advances field team. Quiet now as we approach the Rap's nest. Certainly the spirited variety will offer... Oh, no! Oh, okay. We need to run now!
Foraging time's over. We should have what we need.
Haha. Allow me to give this a cursory eyeball and... perfect. I'm sure we have the... I'll nose out the exact compound within our chemical reserves in 2 shakes of a rat's tail. Well, it's a textbook example of the medulla oblongata wagging the cerebellum. Although, frankly, there's a plethora of ways to stimulate the reptile brain. None of the previous methods were anywhere close to being this commercially viable. But where there's a will, honestly, this whole process is 1 part scientific testing, 2 parts improvisation, and a dash of pure, undiluted panache. Exactly what we do best. Was only a matter of time. Oh, this might work out yet. And he may ignore our recent setbacks if I deliver an easy-to-market product. Just imagine the ad slogans. Air, now with extra fractiousness. Though, I suppose it only works on other Andy's Choice employees, not our preservative-free rivals. Ah, there. I have determined the ideal counteragent. Here you are. Place it and the spore samples into that synthesizer. I cannot wait to put this entire sordid affair behind us. Though in the end, this should turn out to be quite a lucrative day. I saw you working the chemical synthesizer. I presume you were successful in creating an antidote? Nice try. But you don't possess nearly the negotiating power you might suspect. Not when I can simply bide my time and wait for another gormless dunderhead to stumble by. Why, let that thick-headed boob amble off with your reward. Not budging? Oh, all right. I suppose I'd be willing to throw in a little extra as a merit bonus for your superlative performance. Wonderful, wonderful! Knew you seemed a bankably reliable sort. All right. I am activating the air filtration system. There. Should only take a few moments for the antidote to circulate. Everyone still alive should be right as rain shortly. Marvelous. You'll find your remuneration in the chest behind me. My supervisor will hear of your actions. Oh, and before I forget, I, Omid Ormsby, under the power granted me by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, hereby free you from impressed service to Auntie's Choice. Be seeing you.
taking care of citizens is developing possible customers. And come out here yourself in Overstreet. Okay, that subject laughed after the first time we tried talking to him. He's coming on to spot folk going here like easy work.
Why worry about the rift?